to the Starry-Eyed podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Jen. On this show, we chat about all things Williams syndrome.
The ups and downs and what it's like living with.
And being a parent to someone with
Williams syndrome.
We're excited to share our community with you. Thanks for being here.
Happy Monday!
Happy Monday.
What's that?
Songs in my head. Just another manic Monday. Oh, whoa. Wish it were Sunday. No, I don't wish it were Sunday. I wish it was Sunday.
No.
Yeah. How was your weekend, Jen? How was the dance convention?
It was great. It was so fun. My youngest daughter is on a competitive team, and so they get to do a lot of different dance convention competition things. And this is a hip hop one.
Oh, and
so it's so fun. It's my favorite one, and I leave very inspired. But I can't move like that. So I like to think like that I could do that, but I have arthritis in my finger, so.
Well, that's good. Was that? Did the whole family go to that? Or was that just you and Greer?
Yep, it was just me and Greer, and Stella stayed home. Stella actually has surgery tomorrow, so we're getting ready for that. And yeah, she needed a weekend to decompress from the Halloween festivities. Did you dress up, Brendan?
I did. I posted it on my Facebook. I went as remember the lion head wig that I brought to the convention?
Oh yeah.
It was attached to the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz. So I dressed up as that again.
Okay.
Because money's tight, and I didn't want to. What I wanted to get, you couldn't get online, and they didn't have in store. And I checked all over the place. So I was like, I'm just going to bring this out. I don't care. I know I've already worn it once, whatever. Right. So yes, that photo right there, that was taken at my cousin's new house.
Okay.
He just moved up here the middle of October, like the first or second week in October. And we had 5 trick-or-treaters. Well, it was 3 kids and their parents, and that was it. At his house, and then at my house, my neighbor came over and brought us some candy corn and some Snickers.
Right.
So,
yep. You like candy corn?
It's I can take early of it.
Love candy.
I tried it
really?
Last night.
You're the one. Time. You're the one person who loves candy corn.
I love candy corn. I love all candy, really, but
Reese's is my jam, and Kit Kats and that kind of stuff.
No, candy corn. I like stacking candy corn to make it look like corn. Yeah, that is fun.
Another thing you might do if you're old.
Totally. I'm like, look at this. It's like a puzzle. It's good for my dexterity.
Yes.
Keeps me young.
Keeps me young. Did you guys go out and trick or treat, Joel?
No, we had snow again on the day before Halloween and day of Halloween. Not a lot of snow, but enough of it that was heavy and wet to just kind of cause chaos. Bennett was supposed to have a soccer game. And so that was actually we weren't going to be back in time from the game to do any trick-or-treating or have it, be able to hand out candy. So we weren't planning on anything. And then the game got canceled, and then it became a game of scrambling to see what we could find.
At the store?
Not even at the store, because it was game didn't get canceled until in the afternoon, 2-3 in the afternoon. So then it was I gotta make sure the driveway is shoveled and pathways are cleared and everything, so that because hardy Minnesotan families, they're gonna be like, I'm trick-or-treating. And luckily we had bought some Halloween fruit snacks and stuff just because we like to have fruit snacks around the house. And I'm like, oh, here we go. This is what we're giving out. And we did. We actually ended up having quite a few trick-or-treaters come by. We didn't go up. Ben has never been a trick-or-treater, really. He was the kind of trick-or-treater. I know that there are other families like this where like your kid only wants to go to the houses where he knows there are pets.
Oh.
So that he can
Pet the
ask them to see the dogs or the cats, and that's
It's a William thing.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he. So, intro to what we say.
It's a great question. I don't know.
The wonderful Rebekah and Ellie, and yeah.
They were really good. They out of the five of us, they were together.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I liked, yeah. So Ellie actually had an opportunity. She joined Team Impact, and so Rebekah shares with us what that was like, and they're part of the part of Team Impact is that they're paired up with the Iowa dance team, University of Iowa dance team. And so they got to participate last year in the Sweet 16 success story and all that follows along with that. And so it was really fun to hear about that and learn more about Team Impact. I do know that our community has several people who have participated in Team Impact opportunities, and it sounds great. I will be doing more research on that. See what I can get paired up with.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So we're going to share in the show notes just a little bit more about Team Impact and about Ellie's experience with the University of Iowa. And we hope that it spurs you all to think about ways that your kiddos can be connected in the community.
Yeah, for sure. And before I forget, if you guys want to get involved in the podcast, Joel put out a new link to a questionnaire kind of thing. So go to the Starry-Eyed Podcast Facebook page or Joel's Facebook page.
You can go to williams-syndrome.org/podcast. Yeah, let's get right to it. All right, great to see you guys.
Go.
Hearts, croutons and hearts.
Croutons and hearts and
Hold
hearts
on,
and
we're gonna-
croutons.
I'm gonna-
Oh,
I'm
we
gonna
should,
get
we
this.
should sing that on our show.
See, hold on. Croutons and hearts, croutons and hearts.
Croutons and hearts.
Williams syndrome.
Williams syndrome.
Williams syndrome.
Williams syndrome.
Williams syndrome.
Well, hi, Rebekah. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. Doing well. So, for those that don't know who you are, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Rebekah Stewart, and my daughter Ellie has Williams syndrome. She is 13 now, and she was diagnosed when she was 10 months old. I don't know if you want to hear a little bit about like her diagnosis story or.
Yeah, for sure.
We do.
So she was my first kid, and I had a very normal pregnancy. Nothing out of the ordinary, except people kept saying, "Oh, you're so tiny. You're so tiny. Like your stomach is so tiny." And I was, okay, thanks. But completely typical pregnancy. Anatomy scan was totally fine. And then I went to my 39-week appointment, and my belly had actually shrunk when they did the fundal height from the week before. And my OB got very serious and said, "Have you felt her move today?" And I think he was kind of fearing the worst. And I said, "Yeah, she's kicking up a storm." So they sent me immediately to ultrasound, and that they did some measurements and made sure she was doing okay. And she measured at 4 pounds, 15 ounces at 39 weeks, 2 days. And they said, "Go home, get your stuff, go to labor and delivery. You're going to have a baby." So yeah, we went home. I called my husband at work. I think that was at like 4:30. It was one of the last appointments of the day. We got somebody to watch our dog. We went over to the hospital. We were probably there by like 6. Got checked in, got hooked up. They started Pitocin to induce me. And within maybe half an hour of being on Pitocin, her heart rate dropped to like the 40s. And they said, we're done here. I went into emergency C-section and she was born at 8:47. So from, hey, maybe something's not quite right here to you have
Emergency C-section.
was like 4 hours.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and she was 4 pounds, 15 ounces. So yeah, very tiny. And, nurses were kind of, did you have your dates correct? Which I knew I did. Got a lot of like, did you smoke? Did you drink? Which no, but I mean, 9 times out of 10, they see a tiny baby like this. It's going to be something like that.
Yeah.
So they kind of just said, well, her cord was around her neck a couple times, and then it was wrapped around her belly, and it was kind of a short cord. And so maybe it was just kind of like an intrauterine growth restriction where, she just didn't get kind of the nutrients she needed. So they said, well, hopefully she'll, take her home. Hopefully she'll catch up and all of that. So we kind of went, through the next 6 months or so, and she stayed tiny, had reflux, terrible, had just didn't sleep. And being a first-time parent, I was like, I don't know what's normal. This doesn't feel normal, but I don't know what's normal. So we went to her 6-month appointment and they said, yeah, she's not really gaining weight. We're going to kind of check and see at the 9-month appointment. 9-month appointment came up. She hadn't really gained weight. And our pediatrician said, we're going to send you to University of Iowa for genetics. And I said, okay, do you think that, do you have anything in mind particular? And she said, I think she has Williams syndrome, but don't Google it.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like, oh, sure. And so what did I do in the parking lot?
Yeah.
I Googled it. You can't tell somebody that. So long story short, we were able actually to get into genetics really quickly. Luckily there was some kind of appointment that we were able to get into, had a blood test, had all the measurements and everything. They wouldn't tell us anything. And then a few weeks later, I got a phone call that said, yes, she did have Williams syndrome. And normally we wouldn't, say this in a phone call, but it was like a Friday afternoon and they wanted to get us in for a counseling appointment on Monday. And so all of that. So I had to be the one to tell my husband, and it was Father's Day weekend, his first Father's Day as a dad. So that was kind of tough.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It's a
great.
lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
But yeah, she was just kind of, she wasn't growing. She was missing her milestones. She wasn't, sitting or those kind of things. So I think that's what kind of pushed them. I feel like I'm rambling a lot.
No,
Sorry.
you're not. You're
No,
not.
you're fine. You're good. You're good. Keep going.
Listening to your story, I mean, obviously we know each other. There's so many similarities, right? Like between like your story and ours. And it's funny when you have it's like your first time pregnancy and people tell you you're small. You're like, yes, I am. I'm a cute little small pregnant lady.
It's so cute.
I know it makes you feel like good. And then later, like, oh, that wasn't good. Oh, okay. And Stella was the same. Like she was obviously small. And actually there was a time during our pregnancy where like she wasn't moving a lot. And so like we didn't find out Stella had Williams syndrome until she was 5, but there was like all these little things along the way. Now that I go back, I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe this was, part of the journey and it was just missed. How you were saying that like Ellie was measuring at 4 pounds at 39 weeks and they were like, you're going to have a baby. Like, what was their reason for that? Just because they felt like her heart rate was so low, or because they just felt like they needed to like intervene?
Because they measured her under 5 pounds at 39 weeks. They said, well, clearly something's not right. And so she's better out than in at this point.
Okay.
Her heart rate looked good on the ultrasound at the office, but then when they started the Pitocin, like I hadn't even started feeling any contractions, but then with each contraction, then her heart rate would go down to the point where like I didn't even notice. I was on the phone with my mom and kind of updating her, and all of a sudden like 4 or 5 nurses came running in and were like, okay, so let's roll over to your side. Please hang up the phone. And our doctor came in and goes, I know you didn't want a C-section, but we got to go.
Yeah, you got to go. Yeah. Even like when Stella was born, she had the cord wrapped around her neck too. And it was like very like tight, and
Yeah.
the doctor was like, I think Stella was like the last baby he delivered, but he was able to like pull it off. But he was like, wow, like that may be, she was small, but not like that small.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like part of the reason why like she wasn't moving very much, or she was so small. So it's just like I said, the similarities are interesting. So you're in Iowa, right?
Yes.
What part of Iowa are you in?
We're in Cedar Rapids, which is like north central, kind of.
North Central. Okay. So are you in an area where like there is good health care? I mean,
Yes.
they knew about Williams syndrome.
Yes. I'm not sure how my pediatrician had heard of it because most people haven't. But yeah, Cedar Rapids is the second largest city in Iowa City, just under Des Moines. So yeah, we have a couple hospitals here. We have very good health care, and then the University of Iowa, which has an amazing children's hospital, is about 30 minutes south of us. So that's where we go for a lot of her specialist care.
Yep. Yeah. So you were lucky in the sense that you found out at 10 months old. Then what did that journey look like for you? I'm always so interested because we found out at 5 and I'm like, shoot,
Nuts.
I wish that I would have known all these things because maybe like things would be different. Yeah. Like where did that journey take you at 10 months old?
It was tough. It was a rough year. My husband had lost his job when I was 6 months pregnant.
Awesome.
And then we'd had a baby emergency. She didn't sleep. She threw up all the time. We were kind of going, what's going on? When she was 6 months old, they started getting concerned about her weight. And then when she was 7 months old, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer.
Oh.
So it was just,
God. Okay.
it wasn't a good year.
No.
And then she was diagnosed with Williams syndrome a few months later. So yeah, that year after diagnosis was tough.
Did they just send you home and say like she has Williams syndrome, or were like there things that happened? Like, did you all of a sudden then get thrust into like therapies and all that? Okay.
Yeah, they called and told us, and then we went in for the counseling appointment the next week. And from there, it was just insanity. I mean, it was, now we're in private PT, OT, and speech. Now we're in early intervention, PT, OT, speech, play therapy. We're having specialist appointments with cardiology, endocrinology, all the ologists.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go back to teaching because she was in 3, 4, 5 appointments a day every week. So it was just this really intense period of like just trying to figure out, what she needed, where she was, and trying to get her caught up maybe. Yeah. Especially in like she's still behind in some of the physical things, even compared for Williams syndrome. So it was a lot. It was a lot of therapies and a lot of just kind of the calendar was always
full.
Always full. Yeah.
Yeah. That time you were going through thyroid cancer as well. Like, how did you balance both of those? Because they're both very pressing.
Not well. It wasn't great.
Okay.
Luckily, it was not like they say if you're going to have cancer, thyroid cancer is the one to have. So I had a surgery. They removed my thyroid, and I've had yearly follow-ups since. I have to adjust my medication. I have like frequent blood draws, but I mean, luckily I didn't have to go through chemo or radiation or anything like that. So once that was kind of resolved, then it's been okay. But
yeah, doesn't it make you like really tired? Isn't thyroid cancer where you're so tired? Like, how do you do that with like a baby that doesn't sleep?
It wasn't good.
Nobody slept.
Nobody slept. No. And neither of our sets of parents lived close at the time. So we just kind of survived.
Yeah. Oh man. It's like, so sometimes I say like with Stella, it's a blessing that I didn't know. Like I just was so oblivious. And after the fact, I know like, oh, that all makes sense. But in the moment I was like, this is fine. Like, it was like a burning fire. And I'm like, great, we're all doing so good over here.
Yes.
Were you a bad sleeper, Brendan?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, all the signs were there, but I myself wasn't diagnosed until I was almost 13.
13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 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 So it was definitely an interesting journey for sure.
So fast forward now, like at least 13, like what does that journey overall look like? Are you guys in the same place? Like has she went to school at the same place? And does she have like a good community of friends and family? Where is she? You said she's not at school today, so we need her to make her an appearance.
She's just chilling outside. I kind of threaten them all, like, have a meeting, please.
Now
Please
you're
don't
like,
kill
come
each
in,
other.
come
Yeah.
in. I want to see you, you cute face. Yeah. So has she been doing well in school and like how is the health stuff?
Health, knock on wood, has been pretty good.
Yeah.
She's always been mild with her heart stuff, and we just had her yearly echo last week, and everything looks even better than it ever has.
Oh, good.
Which is great because I was really concerned because she grew like 4 inches this year. I was like, okay, that can either be good, everything's kind of growing with her, or not so good. So she didn't look great last year, but this year it looks like she kind of grew into everything.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. So in 13, is she 6th grade?
She's in 7th grade.
7th grade. Okay. Yeah. How was
Yep.
that school transition for her?
So our district is K through 4 in one building, and then 5, 6 in the next, and then 7, 8 in the next, and then high school.
Okay.
So she moved buildings this year. This was the first year that there's no recess, and they're moving
Mhm.
classes about every 45 minutes.
Yes.
So that
Yeah.
transition the first few weeks was kind of rough. And they still are kind of letting her out a few minutes early from each class to get to where she needs to be. And then, she comes in late, just so she doesn't have to navigate the halls when,
Busy.
yeah, that'd be really tough. But she's in mostly typical classes. She has an associate who helps kind of scribe for her, helps her with her computer. She's actually really good at her computer.
Yeah.
And mostly scribes for her, and then just kind of helps keep her safe.
Yeah.
She's kind of not as great with her balance and her coordination and everything like that. But yeah, she's keeping up. She's in the typical math class. She's doing algebra, geometry. She's performing pretty on level right now. So that's been really
Awesome.
really cool.
Yeah. Do you have tips for anybody who's listening, like who they hope that their kid can be in gen ed classes? Like, are you seeing things that work well or don't work well for Ellie?
I mean, I think a lot of it, and with you guys kind of getting diagnosed later, I want to say a lot of it was because we went so, I can't say that it's definitely because of this, but it couldn't have hurt that she was so in such intense therapies those first 3 years, because there's so much growth in the brain those first 3 years.
Yeah.
That I would like to think that all of our work in those first 3 years and all of our dedication to that has paid off. But currently, so she really benefits from a scribe because writing is tough.
Yes.
But she also uses voice to text, and that helps her write her papers. Because again, keyboarding is kind of difficult.
Yeah.
She has they call lion links. Our mascot is the lions, and so they match kids up with typical peers who volunteer for the group to kind of bring them into more social, I don't know what the word is, just kind of like have them in smaller groups.
Like their intent is to like make sure that they're like offering inclusion opportunities without right? Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
It's called Lion Links.
Lion links, yep.
Love that.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So what are the things that Ellie likes in school? Where does she like thrive?
Lunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ask her, she's like, I love lunch. Band. She plays percussion in the band, and she really likes that. Vocal. She's in chorus, and she really likes that.
Nice.
She loves math, which like my husband's the engineer and the math brain in the family, and I'm like, okay, she got it from him. Like that's not me. She really likes going. She likes interacting with everybody, and we're what 2-3 months into the not even like 2.5 months into the school year, and she already knows everybody at the school.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Does she also do dance? Because is that how you got, we do need to segue to like the opportunity that you guys had. Was it over the summer? When was this? Was it at the spring?
It was in the spring. Yeah.
Okay, spring.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's when basketball is. Okay. So let's transition into this story because I love it. And I want to hear like how you guys got connected with University of Iowa.
University of Iowa and then Team Impact.
Oh, Team Impact. Okay, this is great because we just had somebody post about Team Impact on like one of the Williams syndrome pages. So I can't wait for you to share more. I heard of Team Impact. I don't really know all that it entails.
Okay. So Ellie, she got into dance. There's a local dance place here that has a class specifically for kids with disabilities.
Okay.
And that's been excellent. She's been in that since she was 5. And she's really loved that. So I found out about Team Impact through, I think, Erin Rupolo. She had just gotten Sophie matched with the University of Maryland's women's basketball team. And she had posted something about it, either like on her Facebook or in one of the Williams syndrome groups. And I was kind of looking it up and going, okay, well, that sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Iowa. I'm an alum, and we are big Iowa fans in this house. And so I reached out to Team Impact and filled out kind of their interest form for families, and kind of went through a whole kind of interview process about what's her diagnosis, what does she need, what does school and social things look like for her? How can we help? And then kind of what would you prefer to be matched with? And so we said, well, she really likes dance, so maybe the dance team.
Dance team, yes.
And it took some back and forth. It took a few months for them to reach out. This is the first time the Iowa dance team has been paired with anybody from Team Impact. So, they had to get with their coaches and run it by their administration. Yeah, then we got matched with them.
Yeah, I was just pulling up like their website and okay, now I lost it. Okay.
Teamimpact.org.
Yeah, it says Team Impact matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. So you filled it out, and then was Iowa already part of that, or did they go to them and say, we have this opportunity, would you like to be connected?
Iowa had already been part of it through a few other sports, but not dance team before. So they had to go to Jenny, who's the dance team coordinator, and say, hey, we have this opportunity. Are you interested?
Okay. So then from there, they're like, yes, we're interested. What happens next?
They called us and said, yes, you're matched with the Iowa dance team. And then we got to go down to a practice and meet all of the girls, and just kind of plan from there. Are we going to see them at games? Are we going to see them at practices? Kind of like, how are we going to interact?
Yeah. Because what's the frequency of the connection? Is it like every week you're seeing them? Is it every month? Is it on game?
Yeah, we try. We're about half an hour away, so we can't quite, with all of school and therapies and, our other kids are in gymnastics and other things. We can't make weekly work. But we tried to get to a practice once a month or so.
Okay.
And then we try to get to games as much as we can, but some games are different. Like football is more high profile. So it's tough to get to those. We can spend more time with them at things like volleyball, where it's not quite as big of a thing.
Except then how did the Sweet 16 stuff happen?
That was wild. That that whole
You
time.
weren't expecting it, right? Like,
No.
okay.
No. So team impacts, kind of what they do is that if your team is headed to a championship, then they try to send, they have donors who send the matched person and one parent to the championship. And so I had reached out when we saw the women's basketball was doing really well and said, hey, I reached out to our caseworker and said, hey, if the women's basketball goes to any kind of, to the tournament, what could that look like? Because for dance, there's really no like championship except for nationals, which is in January in Orlando.
Florida, yeah.
And so they said, well, let me take a look at it. And then they came back to us and said, okay, if they make the Sweet 16 or if they make the Elite 8, we can probably send you. And I kind of came back and said, well, the Sweet 16 is kind of like chunked in with the Elite 8. I don't know if you know how like the whole tournament thing works, but usually the round of 64 and the round of 32 are together, and then 16 and 8, and then
Yes.
championship.
Yeah.
It's like once you're in, you're gonna you need to see it all the way through. Yeah.
Right. Well, and I said, we're not going to find out if they make it to the Elite 8 and then have a lot of lead time to make it there. So they said, okay, we'll send you to the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
so
so
that
cool.
was in Albany, New York.
Yeah.
And they sent Ellie and I to Albany.
How much time did you have to prepare for that?
I think we found out, and I can like send you the video from where I told Ellie that we were going to
Guess
go.
what? Team Impact is sending you with the Iowa dance team to the Sweet 16.
New York?
Yeah.
Whoa! I not realize I'm going to New York.
Yeah. You and me are going to get on a plane on Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. Friday morning, we're going to get up and go on an airplane to
She
New
was,
York.
she was so excited.
She was so excited.
Yeah, she always has loved New York, and we've never been there. New York? The girls?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So they didn't send the whole dance team. I think they sent 4 girls, is what they could do. And like 4 female cheerleaders, 4 male cheerleaders, and the mascot Herky.
Yeah.
So I want to say we had like 3 days
Okay.
from the time we found out, we're going to go, to the time we left. So it was kind of a whirlwind. They said, well, if they lose in the Sweet 16, you guys can choose. If you want to fly back early, that's cool. If you want to just stay and like see the city, that's cool too. And then they ended up winning the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8.
Yeah, because Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah.
So, did you guys get to meet Caitlin Clark?
We got to give her a high five.
Okay. That's cool.
We got to meet the team as they were coming back we stayed at a different hotel than the team. Unfortunately, they were sold out already, but as the team was coming back in after one of the games, we got to stand right there at the entrance and give everybody high fives. So that was really cool.
From the time that you started doing Team Impact till the time you went to the Sweet 16, what was that time span?
9 months.
9 months. Okay.
Yep.
So that's a pretty short time if you're seeing like somebody once a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To then like spending all this time. So how much time in total were you there?
We were in Albany for, I think, 4 days.
4 days. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And did you hang out with them the whole time, the dance team?
We did as much as possible. The security there was much lower than at the championship. So we were actually able to go backstage with the dance team and walk out with them onto the floor before we went up to our seats, and kind of be down there in that arena, which was amazing. And I can, again, send you video from, kind of walking out there.
Whether you're a coach in search of improvement, a player looking for the next level, a young looking for new opportunities, or a veteran hoping to strengthen its ties, you are
choose drink. Please drink responsibly. Have an empty
After we won the Elite Eight, we were able to go backstage and then go out onto the floor and watch the team, cut down the nets, and the confetti was coming down. And then after the team went out, were able to go with the dance team and kind of like throw confetti, take pictures, like be out on the actual basketball floor, which was it was so cool.
I'm just thinking about Stella in that. Like, I don't know. Like, Stella would go one of two ways. She would either be like loving it, or she'd be like in meltdown mode, right? Like too loud, like too much going on, too many people. How did Ellie handle this experience?
We had multiple pairs of headphones, so that helped a lot.
Yeah.
But she did really well. I was really impressed with how well she kind of took everything in stride, because usually she's a very like, I go to bed at 7:37 and like just very structured human. But she kind of rolled with the punches. She stayed up late. We did multiple TV interviews, and she just kind of went along with everything. She did really well.
Makes me, yeah. Brendan, are you a person that was like that? Like, do you at home, like in the day to day, are you very like routine? And then when you get into like an environment like that, do you just like, go all out? Like, or is that a hard transition for you? Like convention?
No, I'm a very go with the flow kind of guy. Like when I'm home, like, yeah, I have somewhat of a structure, but change is inevitable. Change is the only constant thing in life. And sometimes you just have to go with, the punches that life throws at you, and just adapt and be open and flexible to those kind of things.
Yeah. Usually Stella has like a couple of like a day where she has to get acclimated to like that big shift in routine. And then like once she gets acclimated, then she's like, all for it. And then and we have a hard time the other way, like coming back into a routine. So you guys did that. And are you still a part of team? Like, how does Team Impact work in the sense of like, once you're in it, are you always in it? Is it just for a season?
It's a 2-year thing. So this is our second year with them.
Okay. What happens now?
Well, we're hoping their Team Impact is kind of working on budgetary stuff right now. It's the end of the fiscal year. So we're hoping that we get to go to nationals in January.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
I'd be so I just came from a dance convention because my other daughter, both my kids dance, but one of my daughters is a competitive dancer, and it is so much fun. It's so much fun to see like people that are truly like artists in an environment where they're competing, and like you see their best lives. I'm sure you've already heard about the LSU dance team. That would be a real treat to be able to see them.
Yeah, we got to meet them because that's who Iowa played in the Elite Eight.
Okay. Oh, see, now I will fangirl. Okay, that's cool.
I mean, they only, we could only bring a few. So I think there were only like 6 or 8 of them. They weren't able to bring their whole team, but we still got to meet who was there. So that was really cool. They were all very nice, and I can send you again. I can send you a bunch of pictures and things.
That'd be cool. LSU has an amazing dance team.
They're incredible.
So dope.
When we were in Albany, we had a day break between games, and we actually took the train from Albany to New York City, which was like 2 hours. And so we were able to spend like maybe 8 hours in New York City, just the two of us. It was really cool. New York City is not disability friendly.
No.
The train stations do not all have elevators or anything like that. So getting around was a lot. But for the most part, people were pretty kind. And then when they won the Elite Eight, I had kind of jokingly texted our coordinator and said, hey, if you feel like sending us to the championship, that would be cool. Like, not ever dreaming that they would. do that. Then she goes, let me check. And a few hours later, she texts me back. She's like, they said yes. Do you want to go directly there or do you want to go home? And then like, how do you want to do the flights? And
You get to go to the Final Four.
I was like, I didn't pack. We don't have like her meds and everything. We didn't think that we were going to be gone that long. So we got home at like 1 a.m. one day. We had a full day at home to do laundry, and then we were out at like 5 the next morning. So
Oh man, that is a quick. And how did Ellie handle that?
as long as we were moving, she was okay.
Yeah.
And she basically like that whole day we were home, she just like
Zonked out.
just sat there watching TV and was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, like she needs her downtime for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Then when you went then to the championship, how many days were you gone?
3, I think. And my husband was able to come with us this time. We were able to get it figured out with our in-laws where he could leave the other 2 kiddos with them. And he was able to tag along with us this time, which was amazing.
Ellie, it's so good to see you. I saw you at convention.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you and your mom are like twinning today. You guys are looking real cute. We were just
Super cute.
we were just talking to your mom about when you got to go to the Sweet 16 and go to New York City.
I went to the M&M store.
Oh, that's a great place.
So I heard you're a dancer.
I'm part of the IDT.
You are part of the IDT, Iowa Dance Team.
Iowa Dance Team. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. Are you doing things with the dance team right now? Have you been going to practices?
Yep,
Yeah.
we saw them twice. We did a dance clinic with them last weekend, and then they got to perform at the volleyball game. All 3 kids did. And they've also, like as a side note, they've been amazing with including siblings. So obviously with a trip, like we couldn't bring everybody.
Yeah.
But with practices and with anything else we go to, they are so amazing with including everybody and making sure that siblings don't feel left out. They treat them all just kind of the same. They're all except like Ellie is the one who's in it, but they're also
They're part of it. They're an extension of it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's really cool. Yeah,
So
because
cool.
I mean, as you
I'm
know,
13.
Yes, you are.
you're 13. I know you're 13. Ellie, what kind of dance is your favorite kind of dance? Do you like dancing like ballet? Do you like dancing tap? Do you like doing hip hop?
Hip hop.
Yeah.
Our new song is Celebrate.
Ooh, it is. That's the
Song they're going to do for recital this year.
Ooh, okay. Oh, that's fun. So, did you perform with the dance team at volleyball?
Mhm.
Yeah, you liked it. I was asking your mom how when it gets noisy, is that
I
stressful for
use my headphones.
you? Use your headphones. That's good. And that makes you feel like it's not as loud. Yeah, that's good. Britt, you want to introduce us to
Hey, buddy, you want to come in and say hi? We can scoot back.
I'm doing this like I see you coming in. He doesn't. We're looking. Ah, there you are. Hey.
Hello.
Oh, how's it
Big
going?
guy. Okay, let's put this down.
You guys are
Good
representing
brother.
Iowa today. You
Yep.
guys are-
Said he had to match me.
What's your name, buddy?
Lucas.
Hi, Lucas. How are you? I'm Jen.
I'm Brendan.
We just heard about you guys doing a little dance number at the volleyball game.
Excuse
Did
me.
you dance at the volleyball?
Oh, yeah, I did.
You did. Did you like that?
See? What?
You
See?
can come over.
What behind is Evelyn?
Hi. Yeah. So tell us how old you guys are.
I'm 5.5.
5.5.
10. 14.
Ellie, do you want to tell us anything about Team Impact or in your experience with the dance team, or do you want to tell us anything about Williams syndrome?
They like to give us candy.
Yeah, they're very kind. They like to give us lots of candy and things.
How was Cleveland?
Yeah.
Do you remember Cleveland? When Dad came too and we got to go to the championship? Yeah.
We went to a candy store.
Yeah, we went to a candy store, did some shopping. That one was the day between the semifinals and the championship. That was, I think, when it all kind of caught up to her. So we were thinking, maybe we'll go shopping, maybe we'll see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And she was just like, nope, I'm done. So we sat in the hotel room and we watched some TV and we played some iPad and we just got some takeout and relaxed a little bit, which was fine with me. By then I was like, yikes.
Yeah.
And I have a fun fact about me. I'm a percussionist.
It's okay. Percussionist.
Yep.
We heard about your percussion skills, that you like to play drums. Do you like any other instruments?
Oh, the vibra slap.
I have one of those too.
There you go.
What is a vibra slap?
And then you're going to strike the ball and let the box vibrate.
Oh,
I have seen people holding it, striking the box, which you can do, but the box really.
No.
Yeah, short skirt, long jacket, I think is the.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Either.
From Cake. I love all the directions this went today. Who knew?
So many directions.
Yeah. It was good to see you, Ellie.
All right. Well, thank you, Rebekah and Ellie. It was really great having you guys on the podcast, and look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
My candy basket doesn't have any milk duds in it.
I ate the milk duds.
They're bad for your teeth.
This has been the Starry-Eyed Podcast, presented by the Williams Syndrome Association. The show is hosted by Jennifer Keaton and Brendan Lemieux, and produced by me, Joel Listman. Theme song by Tommy Barbarella and Mariella Elm. Got a question for the show? Email us at podcast@williams-syndrome.org or message us at the Starry-Eyed Podcast page on Facebook. Video version of the podcast available on the Williams Syndrome Association channel on YouTube or on Facebook. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or comment on the video version and maybe it will be featured on a future episode. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Starry-Eyed Podcast wherever you get your podcast delights.